Hello team, Sean Michael here. Want to chat with you briefly in regards to the subject of recruiting, and recruiting has absolutely been my favorite subject in this business over the last decade or so. And so let's chat about this simple process. Now recruiting, make a note of this, recruiting is a process, it's not an event. Typically, it takes 3 to 5 separate exposures before someone is ready to make the decision in respect to getting started as an associate, and they're ready to actually do the business. So about 3 to 5 different exposures. On average, I find it takes between 5 to 7 different conversations as you take them through that exposure process. Now, there are 5 steps in the exposure process. They're not set in any particular order. However, what I find is that as you take someone through these 5 steps, if you take them through that 5 steps order, what you'll find is that typically they will be a well-trained new associate. So the first step is the approach. Second step is the presentation. The third step is the follow-up. The fourth step is a live event, and the fifth step is a training. So let's take the first step. The first step is the approach. What's the purpose of the approach? The purpose of the approach is to simply create curiosity, to create interest. That's when they become curious about what it is that you're talking about. The second step is the tool. The tool does the presentation. So we like to utilize a DVD or a flip chart or a recorded sizzle call or a sit down, but a tool always does a better job at doing the presentation than us ourselves because it is third party versus first party. Okay, so the purpose of the tool is to get the facts relayed to the prospect. The third step really is the follow-up. And in following up, that you simply want to find out whether or not they got the facts through the tool. So you can ask them, hey, did you see everything okay? Did everything make sense? Okay, so the purpose of the follow-up is simply to find out if they got the facts. The fourth step in the exposure process is to invite them out to a live event. Now, at a live event, it is designed for confirmation. That is where it will be confirmed to them that the information they looked at is actual factual, and they're going to hear it from another source of information. Not only that, but at a live event is where all the magic happens. It's where they get the emotions, where they see the people, is when it really validates that this is a real opportunity for them. The fifth step in the process is really for them to come out to a training. Now, when they come out to a training, a magical thing happens is they are going to get some training in respect to these 5 steps. And so it's going to legitimize to them that the business is really, really simple. So let's talk real quickly about the approach, because really this is where all the magic happens. You only have one chance to make a first impression. Now, in the approach, we've got the warm market and we've got the cold market. Let's talk briefly about the warm market. Warm market are people that know you. They know your name, they know your face, they know who you are. The average person knows between 100 to 300 people. Now, this is a warm market business. Therefore, we have to always remember that our warm market, the people that know us, the relationships that we have with those people is the most important thing in our life. And so I highly encourage you to maintain those relationships. You're not in the business of recruiting and signing up and selling your warm market. Rather, you're simply there to educate them on what it is that you're passionate about, what it is that you like, and what it is that you're doing. And what you'll find out is within due time, everyone will eventually get the membership from you. Whether they get it now or they get it later, it doesn't matter, because they can only get it from one place, which is you, their local Legal Shield representative. So let's talk about approaching our warm market. In approaching the warm market, there's what's called a direct approach and there's an indirect approach. I personally, when you're approaching a warm market, it's always best to utilize an indirect approach, and I'll share with you why in just a minute. Now let's talk about approaching warm market. In the warm market, you know 3 types of people. Let's just assume that you're a 5 and you know 3 types of people. You know your 10s, your 5s, and your 1s. Your 10s are people that see themselves as more successful than you. So those are your 10s. Your 5s are your peers, the people that see themselves as the same as you. And you've got your 1s, the people that look up to you. So how you approach your warm market is determined not by how you view them, but rather by how they view you. So let's talk about how to approach 10s. 10s are people that see themselves as more successful than you. So it could be your parent, it could be your teacher, it could be your boss at your job, it could be your uncle or your aunt, someone that sees themselves as more successful than you. Now, when approaching 10s, it's always best to, number one, feed their ego. Feed their ego. Let them know, hey, I really have a lot of respect for your opinion. I really respect your business sense. I respect how busy you are. Okay, so just let them know, feed their ego. Then you can ask them for a favor. You can ask them for their opinion. You can ask them for some feedback. So for an example, if I was to call my cousin Richie, who lives in New York, I called my cousin Richie, hey Richie, it's Sean, how you doing? Hey listen, I only got a minute and I know you're very busy as well. I don't want to take too much time out of your schedule because I know you're in the middle of a work day, but hey Richie, I really have a lot of respect for your business sense. Obviously you've had some great success in life and I really would like to ask you for your help. Could you do me a favor and take a look at this short DVD that I'm going to mail to you? It has to do with a new business project that I'm working on, and man, it makes so much sense to me, but if there was one person who I really respect their opinion, it's you, Richie. Will you do me a favor and help me out by evaluating this information for me? That's a very simple approach to invite someone that's your 10 to look at some information. Now let's talk about your ones. Your ones are people that look up to you. With your ones, it's best to just simply tell them what to do. Hey Johnny, it's Sean. Hey listen, I'm going to mail you a DVD. As soon as you get in the mail, take a look at it. I want you to see this information and get right back to me. Now, if you approach your one and you tell them what to do, you tell them to look at a DVD or you tell them to listen in on a recorded call, and they don't do it, it's a simple indication that they do not view themselves as your one. Now, let's lastly talk about your peers, your fives. So your fives are most critical. They're the people that know you best, okay? They see themselves as the same as you, and so it's always best to talk about someone more successful than you. It's always best to talk about an incredible opportunity that was presented to you by someone who's very successful. So you're utilizing that third party. So for an example, if I was to call my friend David, and let's just say David is my peer, it's always best to, instead of approach David directly, is to approach him indirectly. So let's say I call my friend David. Hey David, how you doing? Hey listen, I only got a minute, but the reason for my call is I just started working with a company. I started working with them part-time. Hey listen, I'm working alongside a couple of individuals who are earning more money in a month than most people are earning in a year. And let me tell you, these couple of individuals asked me, who did I know that was sharp and business-minded, that always kept their ear down to the ground? And David, the first person I thought of is your friend Donna. Hey, could I get Donna's number from you? Now David may say, what do you mean? I'm interested in an opportunity, but I'm going to say something to the tune of, hey, listen, David, you're already very busy with your law career. I really don't think it's something that's for you, but hey, can I get Donna's number? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to downplay the opportunity for them, and I'm really going to keep on inching in towards getting their peer's phone number, okay? Someone that they know, okay? Usually what that does is it significantly increases and piques my warm market's interest, okay? And in that situation, you can go ahead and pick up the phone. You can call their friend Donna. Donna, hey, how you doing? It's Sean, David's friend. And I know we met several times. We were out with friends on a social occasion. And hey, the reason for my call is I actually just started working with a company. I'm working alongside a couple of individuals who are earning more money in a month than most people are earning in a year, and they asked me who did I know that was sharp and business-minded, that always kept their ear down to the ground for a good opportunity. And Donna, the first person I thought of was you. Hey, are you keeping your career options open? At that point, you can utilize a direct approach because it is your five's five. I hope this makes sense to you. So the best way to approach your 10s is to feed their ego. Ask them for their favor, their opinion, their feedback, and so on and so forth. With your 5s, ask them for their contact. Ask them who do they know that is sharp, who do they know that is business-minded. Always go for your 5s. And with your 1s, always tell them what to do. So now we're talking about the warm market, okay? Let's go ahead and transition from the warm market to the cold market. The cold market are all the people who don't know you, all the people that you have an opportunity to meet. Now, we have about 300 million people in America, and since we only have a 2% market penetration in the legal industry, legal services industry in the United States of America, we've got a massive available cold market available to us. In the cold market, let me give you a couple of examples on what's a good way to approach a cold market. I like to do it with a pay a compliment and ask a question. Simply put, hey, I like your shirt. Do you work around here? That's a good way to approach someone who you see at a coffee shop or something like that. Or you're standing in line at a convenience store and you look behind you and there's somebody standing in line. They've got a book in their hand. You can go ahead and comment on their book. Oh, that's a great book. I heard about that book. Do you like to read? Something like that. So you pay a compliment and you ask a question. That opens up the ability to have a conversation. Now, having a conversation with a cold market, you want to form them. FORM. F stands for family or from. where they're from, or what's their family status, where they're from. Second one is occupation. O stands for occupation. Hey, what kind of work do you do? R stands for recreation. Hey, what do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do when you're not working? And M stands for motivation, because the whole point of building rapport with someone in this process is you're looking to find out what is it that motivates them. Okay, now informing someone, you want to make sure, and make a note of this, that you build bridges. Building bridges means that you're finding things that you and them have in common. So for an example, oh, that's a credit report book. Do you do credit report? Yeah, I do. Oh, that's fantastic. Do you work around here? Oh yeah. Hey, by the way, what kind of work do you do? Well, I work in aviation, but I'm excited about starting this credit repair business. That's fantastic. Hey, as a matter of fact, the company I work with is called Kroll Incorporated. They're the largest investigative firm on planet Earth, and they actually have more than 1,000 private investigators that work for them. Hey, I always love connecting with sharp, business-minded people. Okay, so now I just found something that them and I have in common. Then you can move on to recreation. Hey, by the way, so what do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do when you're not working? Oh, I like to play basketball. That's fantastic. People always ask me if I play ball because I'm over 6 foot tall. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hey, so now I found out through just having a short conversation that this person works a job, they're business minded because obviously they're looking to start a business, and they're into athletics. That says a lot about a person. A person who is athletic is typically someone who has a discipline and who likes to have fun. Okay, so I find out that person's motivation, and that allows me to say, hey, do you have a business card? I always love connecting with sharp business-minded people. And once I get their business card, I can give them a call later. I call them tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and let them know, hey, it was great meeting you at the coffee shop. I'd love to sit down with you over coffee and really chat with you about business. Okay, and so that really opens up the door for having that conversation. Now, in terms of motivation, what you'll find is that there are 4 types of motivators. Some people are money motivated. We call them Reds. Red stands for someone who's money motivated. They're status motivated. They're into making money. They're into dressing sharp. They like to drive nice cars. They like to wear gold. Situations like that, okay? They're typically clean cut. Okay, so you can tell a lot of times by the way someone is dressed, by their demeanor, by how they walk, by how they talk, and their body language are very direct that they are red, that they're a money motivated person. The second type of motivator out there is the fun motivated people. The fun motivated people, those are your blues. Their car is usually messy. They like to drive a convertible vehicle. They always just like to have fun. They don't care about making a lot of money, but as long as they can have some fun, we can definitely work something out with them. Okay, so you got the fun motivated people. The third type of person you'll encounter is a person who is cause motivated. Okay, they love to help the community. We call those yellows. Now the yellows are like your hippies, your vegetarians, the people that like to help the community. A lot of pastors or rabbis or teachers are individuals who are cause motivated. Okay, and the next type of person you'll encounter is the person who's fact motivated. We call them greens. Okay, that's your accountant. They usually like to drive a safe vehicle. They like to see documentation. And so as you're connecting with people, as you're forming people in the cold market, make sure that you try to identify what their motivator is, what motivates them. Now, everybody has all 4 personality types in them, but people typically have one dominating motivating factor, and you're looking to mirror and match. So if you're talking with someone who's really into helping the community, you want to shift your body language a little bit and talk with them, oh, we're doing something wonderful for the community, and we're always looking for people who like helping people. If you're talking to somebody who's money motivated, you can let them know, hey, we have an unprecedented opportunity here. We're sitting in front of a financial tidal waves. We have more than 400 people who surpassed a 6-figure income. We have more than 150 people who have made over $1 million in income. Our company has paid out more than $1 billion to associates like you and I over the last 10 years, so it allows us to really connect with them at their level. So I hope this training helped you a little bit in regards to recruiting, and just remember, recruiting is a process, it's not an event, and you want to follow up so that you can follow through. The last thing I'm going to share with you in regards to follow-up is typically people tend to follow up sometimes a little bit too much and a little bit too often. What I like to do is that the more interested the prospect is, the sooner I like to follow up with them. The less interested the prospect is, the longer I like to take to follow up with them. For an example, if you take someone through the first exposure, let's say you let them listen to a short sizzle call and they like what they heard, you can invite them to take a look at the DVD. And then you can follow up the next day and ask them what they like best about the DVD. And let's just say they say, man, I love everything I saw on the DVD. And you say, listen, basically, if you like what you saw on the DVD, there's an individual I'd love to introduce you to. You can take them to a three-way call, and then you can invite them to a live event, and you can take them to a training. But if you've got someone that you invite to listen to a sizzle call and they're kind of interested, and you say, well, listen, if on a scale of 1 to 10 you're a 7 or above in terms of your interest, go ahead and take a look at this DVD. Let's just say you follow up with them the next day and you get their voicemail. Simply leave them a voicemail. Hey, it's Sean. We chatted yesterday. I just wanted to touch base with you. I got some exciting news to share with you. So now you leave them that short message. What you want to do then is you want to take that contact and you want to move them forward in your follow-up process by a couple or 4 days. Okay, so you want to take a couple of 4 days until you follow up with them again. And let's just say you call them after 4 days and you get their voicemail again. You leave them a voicemail. What you want to do is you want to move them forward in your follow-up process by 8 days, and then by 16 days, and then by 30 days, so that you're kind of weaning off your uninterested prospects and you're following up quickly with your most interested prospects. What will end up happening is that your less interested prospects will get a phone call from you every 30 to 60 days. But your most interested prospects, you want to follow up with them immediately. Let me just share with you what happened for me. A gentleman approached me on a Wednesday afternoon. He did a flip chart presentation. That was the first exposure I had to Legal Shield. I loved everything I saw, so I was interested. By the end of that day, he gave me a second follow-up phone call because guess what happened? When we left the sit down, of course, I wasn't ready to get started, but he handed me a disc and he said, hey, when you get home, take a look at this disc. And of course, when he followed up with me, he asked me, hey, did you get a chance to look at the disc? I said, I absolutely did. He said, what did you like best? I said, I like everything. He said, listen, if you like what you saw on that disc, let me go ahead and give you a website to check out. He gave me a website and we scheduled a follow-up for the next day. Guess what? He called me up the next day. Hey, did you take a look at the website? I said, absolutely. What did you like best? I like it all. He said, listen, if you like what you saw on the website, there's a conference call I want to invite you to listen in on. And so what ended up happening is I was a very interested prospect. And so he was able to take me from exposure to exposure very quickly and very efficiently. And from that Wednesday to that Saturday, he had taken me through 7 different exposures. That Saturday was a big Super Saturday event. That was about a 2-hour drive from where I lived, but because that gentleman got me on a 3-way call with a successful Legal Shield associate, after I took a look at a handful of different exposures, and that gentleman on that 3-way call did such a great job edifying this incredibly successful person that was going to be speaking at this event that was 2 hours away from where I lived, I got in my car that Saturday morning and I drove 2 hours to attend that event, and that is when I got started. Okay, and so what I encourage you to do is focus on doing 2 new exposures every single day. Follow up promptly and don't lose faith in the process. Let me tell you, if you keep planting seeds and you keep cultivating your land, what you will find is that you will reap an incredible harvest. So looking forward to some more training with you. I wish you much success in your Legal Shield endeavor. This is going to be an amazing ride as we go from 2% market penetration to 20% market penetration in the next coming years, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and all of your success. Take care and take charge.